Live. Okay, hello everybody. You are welcome. This is More Global Network live webinar. I am Musa Alatunji. If you are with us, you can see the screen. For you to join this live webinar, you must be in the Facebook group. Now, from the Facebook group, for you to comment at the question and answer questions, you need to add StreamYard to allow StreamYard to be able to see you. So from there, we can move forward. So with me, we have Mr. Kenneth from Ghana, who is a friend and a fellow ambassador from TheirWorld in London. So he will be the one taking care of this scholarship opportunity with us. So we are sorry we are starting late due to technical issues. So we are sorry we are starting late. So if you're just joining us, you can read the slides going on scholarship opportunity with Kenneth. So I would like to read Mr. Kenneth. Mr. Kenneth, are you there with us? Mr. Kenneth.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, so today I'm going to talk about scholarship opportunities and how we can write our scholarship essays and how we can access some of these scholarship opportunities and also some fellowship opportunities around. So most of the time, what happens is many people are interested in pursuing further studies abroad, but sometimes they have the knowledge or the information about the scholarships, or they know what they want to do, but then they don't know how they can do it. And this becomes a problem for many people. So this this afternoon, basically, I'm going to talk about some of the ways in which we can go about with our scholarship application, from admission process to getting the scholarship, and also some tips that can help anyone who is interested in taking scholarships. So first of all, for you to be able to get a scholarship, it means that you would have to get an unconditional admission offer from a university abroad. It's not like you need to get it, but it's one of the prerequisites. You would, in some countries like the UK and the US, you would have to, some scholarships will demand you to write IELTS, which is International English Language Test Systems, or in the US, GRE. So some scholarships will require you to have those, some will not. And it is your responsibility as an applicant, once you know about the scholarship, what you can do is basically to go and read about the requirements and see what you are supposed to do before you even start putting your application together. So aside from that, English language and the test systems, you would have to get admission alongside some scholarships. You work at it together, like you apply the scholarship and then you apply for the universities. For some other scholarships too, you should have secured admission before. So in this case, it is very important that for you to know that, or for you to win a scholarship, you should also know that you need to get admission, because getting the scholarship is different and also getting admission is different. You can get a scholarship without admission and you will not be able to go, and you can also get admission without a scholarship. So I want to take us through some few steps about how we can write statement of purpose or personal statement in other ways, which is one of the most important requirements to get admission. For you to get admission abroad, you need to have your bachelor's degree, you need to have your transcript available, and you need to write a statement of purpose which will convince an admission officer that you can study the course, and you have both the professional and the academic qualification to actually study that program. So writing personal statement, your statement of purpose showcase your accomplishment as well as communicate your vision for what you could achieve in the future. So what basically they are looking for is you as an applicant who is applying for a university admission to show your accomplishment. That is what you have achieved in terms of your career and in terms of your academic background. And there's no single best formula for writing a statement of purpose or personal statement. In some countries today say statement of intent. There are so many ways that you can write. So your statement of purpose is an intellectual autobiography that defines a specific academic program that interests you, explains how your current work fits within the broader scholarly or professional field, and proves your own expertise through detailed description of past achievement, while communicating what you hope to do after the course of study and connect your chosen course of study with the wider area of work. So if you want to write a personal statement, this path, this shows actually almost everything that goes into that statement. So it is your intellectual autobiography that is more like an account of you regarding your knowledge, your expertise, and how uh, about an academic problem, because you are going to study. It's an academic journey you want to embark. How that interests you. Why do you want to study that program? And how that program fits into your scholarly, that is your professional, your personal, like academic, and also your professional field, and how you have achieved certain accomplishments that makes you the best candidate to study the program, and also some of your plans after you finish that course. So
Hello?
hello.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, yeah. So this is what entails. Then what goes into the personal statement? As I said, there's no single formula for writing a winning statement of purpose, but your statement should begin with a question in mind. Why do you want to study the program? So many people, I have been reading a lot of personal statements, and I don't see some key ingredient or some key information that will convince an academic advisor to accept them to the course. So you begin with a question. I want to study public health. Why do I want to study it? Is it because I think it's lucrative, or is it because I think everybody is doing it? You should have a reason why. Your ability to answer the questions will guide you in writing. Also, what have you done professionally, academically, and personally that makes you suitable for that course? So here you talk about three key areas: your professional, your academic, and personal accomplishment, which you think makes you a suitable candidate. Aside from this, what is key hard accomplishment, research, publication, which is not always compulsory, soft skills relevant in that field of study that you have, and how can you contribute to the course and to the university that you want to study? So here you have to bring in some of the things that you'll be able to do based on your accomplishments. You'll be able to enrich the course, bring whatever you've learned from your career to benefit the other classmates and also the university as a whole. And how will you studying that program connect you to your career goals? This is also important. They want to know your plans for the future and all that. So things to consider before you plan to write your personal statement. You have to research the course you want to study and how this particular program connects with your previous academic or professional background. So you have to go to the university's website. Every course details is there. Go and research. You find more about the course details, yes, online from the university's official website. You know everything about the course, from the description of the course to the academic courses you will take, from how assessment will be conducted, from people who are going to teach the course, etc. You have to go and research. Then you have to search for industry specific and academic languages or terms in the field because when you are writing a personal statement about, let's say, public health or education, there are certain key academic and industry specific words that you need to bring to your writing that will show the advisor that you understand the field. You don't have to just choose any words. And most of these words can be found under the course description in the official university website. Then you prepare and have a writing plan. So here you have to prepare, at least you have to give yourself like 4 weeks to prepare, have a skeleton, a sketch of how you want to write it, and then you go at it systematically. One thing that people fail to do is that every every information is online, but not every information online is relevant. However, you can get an information to complement what you already know. So what you can do is to get samples of at least 3 samples of those statements of purpose in your field of study that you want to take. Then what you do is that you use those samples to guide you. You don't copy them, but you use those samples to guide you to write your own. I'll skip this part. So, points to note: when you are uploading on an online system, unless stated, that is after you have finished writing your personal statement, um, unless it is stated, because most of the universities use online system where you upload them, you have to save it in Word document, because sometimes the PDF, if you are not lucky and the first process of shortlisting goes through um, an ATS, which is application tracking software or system, it may not be able to locate every information in PDF. So sometimes if you're uploading on a system, an online system, it's very good for you to upload it in Word, Microsoft Word, unless it is stated that PDF is allowed. Avoid big vocabulary. What I have seen is that many people write personal statement or statement of purpose and they want to convince that they know or they know how to use big vocabulary. It doesn't work, because one thing about big vocabulary is that it is annoying and it doesn't prove any point. The person assessing you may be an English, like a British or American or a Canadian who knows English. So you may not be able to convince them with any big vocabulary. Be simple, use clear words. Clarity of expression, flow, and synthesis. Sometimes some people write and it's just jumbled. Like they begin an argument and then they don't build it up. They just throw in words and you see that their flow, there's no flow, and it is, you just read the work and you don't know from the head to the toe. Also, be formal. It is an academic writing, so you have to be formal. You have to use certain formal words. Also, you include statistics or any figures when you are talking about your impact project or your research or your work. If you have any numbers or statistics to back your claim, you need to include them. Avoid using many adjectives. Many people use so many long sentences. This is an academic writing, so you have to avoid using flowery words, rosy words. Just be a formal and official. Avoid use straightforward action specific lingo. Yeah, so industry specific. Work on your punctuations. Don't try to impress, but write to express. Express your thought, express your knowledge, express how you have been able to do something in your field, express how you think the course is the right course for you. Don't try to impress, like, yeah, don't write English, but write something that has value. Then use only relevant background or experience. Assuming you are applying to study education and you have worked in public health, unless there's a link between the course and your background, you don't have to use anything that is not relevant to your background. Then you have to proofread. You have to proofread. So in this case, I will give it to a friend or a senior colleague to read my work for me, to check grammar, analysis, synthesis, and punctuations. Don't go beyond the word limit or page limit. Most of the times on the university website, they have the the word limit for writing a personal statement, most of them is 2 pages maximum. Some also put it in words like 1,500 words. So don't go beyond that. That is why it is good for you to read. Even some universities have samples about how you can write yours. So you go and check all these things before you put your paper on your pen on your paper. Also, you break sentences down and then you punctuate. Yes, don't write long sentence. Break them down and make your writing very coherent. So, scholarship application before you apply for a scholarship. So there are so many scholarships around, but before you apply, you should know. I remember when I was about to apply for Chevening in 2017, I had heard from Chevening from my friend, and then he encouraged me to apply. But then when my friend told me about the Chevening, I had to go to the website to just look at what is it about, to read more about it in terms of requirements, in terms of eligibility, and other things that I will need, and even deadlines. So what I did was just to go there and look for all this information and wrote them in my journal. So I had the date that the scholarship will be opened, what I need to do, and all that. So I started looking for or searching for those things that I will need to do before even the scholarship application opens. Some people will wait, and in the middle of the application, they want to apply. It may not work for you in that way. So everyone can have information about a scholarship, but not everyone can win them. Yes, we all have information about some of the scholarships around, but then at the end of the day, some people win and others don't win. The difference is that information alone is not everything. You need to also know how to go about them. So you research about the scholarship, their aims, vision, and mandate. Why am I saying this? There are some scholarships that are tailored at certain or tailored to certain professional background or even academic background. For instance, Chevening Scholarship don't really focus more on academic accomplishments. They focus on both academic and leadership potential. So community service, what you are doing to improve lives and all that. They prioritize that. They prioritize your networking skills and all that. So that scholarship may not be suitable for somebody who is more interested in academic. So that person can maybe look at the Commonwealth scholarship, for instance. They don't really look at leadership. They look at academic, like your proposal, like your project, what you want to do after your studies in the industry or in the field. So you understanding their aims and their vision and their mandate will even guide you as to how you approach your questions. If you know that this is a leadership-oriented scholarship, you will know that when you are writing your essays, you will include more leadership examples and accomplishments. When you know it is more about academic, you will also talk more about your academic exploits in the university, what you did, overall best student, you won awards, So it's very, and even it helps you to be clear. And also, you read about their requirements and any legalities involved in that scholarship. I talked about the requirement, but the legalities is also important. You don't enter into a scholarship or a program which you will be binded maybe not to do something else. There are some scholarships or there are some programs that they will tell you that once you become part of this program, in the next 5 years, you cannot travel to this country. You have to stay in your country. You have to know all this. It's not about you just going to put yourself in trouble. You need to see what the legalities are. So there are some scholarships that require you to return to your home country as soon as you finish your course. There are some scholarships also that require you to stay. You can stay there and work, etc. So you have to know about all this. You have to have a holistic template essays available. You don't just have to start saying, "Oh, I'm writing a scholarship application." As an applicant, you have to get a template. It can be your own writings of different applications that you have done. You have to keep all those things on your computer so that when you are starting let's say you are writing about your leadership. You have already written something about leadership for a fellowship or for another program. So in writing about your leadership, you already have a template or a guide. So you just use that and build upon it. It helps. It makes the work easier. You look at the opportunities available post-graduation, notable alumni, etc. Yes, as I said, there are some scholarships that will say go back to your country. There are some scholarships that say, oh, you can stay in the country that you studied and build your career. So there are some scholarships that keeps track of you even when you finish. There are some scholarships that there has been some notable alumni, like people who have been part of that scholarship. You have to look for them. What have they been doing? What have they been up to? It gives you a clear overview of what that scholarship is, and even who to contact in case you want them to guide you. Also, you find someone who has won, yes. So you find someone who has won that scholarship to critique or review your application, preferably a person in your field. This works a lot. I think that you cannot do it alone. And one thing is that it's always good for you to look out for people who have been there before. So that person will be in the best position to guide you or to review your work for you and make sure you get the scholarship. So writing your scholarship essays, you have to break. So some of the scholarships, for instance, Chevening has 4 essays that you have to write: one on leadership, one on networking, one on career, and one on why you want to study in the UK. So you have these 4 essays, 500 words each, that you have to write. There are other scholarships like Commonwealth. They have various questions that you have to fill. Fulbright also. So every scholarship is different, but then you have to break your questions down if you want to write. Sometimes people don't understand the question. They just read the question and start answering. So this is what I do. When I read the question, I look into the question to find the key components of that question. And then I highlight them or I write them down. And then when I'm writing to answer those components or address those components. It helps because many people answer questions, but then they don't address everything in the question, and the reviewers will not take such an applicant. You have to address all the key components of that question. Also, you use key words from official website of the scholarship under the description section. You'll find more practical ATS friendly words to use. Yes, you know, you may not be so good with, let's say, policy related words or key terms. But one thing that I normally do is that I go back to them, what they have described. Upon graduation, we want you to do this and do that and do that. The scholarship seeks to select young people from this and that and that. Then I use the same words, paraphrase it, and give it back to them. It works a lot. Don't be modest. Communicate your exemplary skills using narrative, innovation, and influencing skills. Yeah, so some people too, they have achieved so much, but then when they are writing, they don't include all of them. Sometimes achievement, we think the achievement are those big things. Maybe you are leading change in your community, in your organization, or even at what you do, like you are doing mentorship opportunity, you are giving mentorship to people and all that. You include all of them because all these are very important. And always is good to use the storytelling approach to convince the reader how your expertise and academic background, professional experience feed into the scholarship objectives. This is a scholarship you are applying for, and these are people who are going to fund you about thousands of dollars and pounds. So you need to tie your expertise and your background and your personal experiences to the objectives. So you have to link it. That's why you need to read about it and see how you can link it. Also, you leverage figures, statistics, and policy related or technical words to your advantage. Yes, as I said, when you are writing your scholarship essay, you have to make use of statistics, figures, policy related or technical words within your own. You have to show it is a competency based program. So you need to show that you are competent, you know your field well, you know what is happening. And you articulate a convincing and clear career plan is very important because most of the scholarship, they are looking for people who are ambitious, people who have clear career plans. You may not really know what you want to do, but at least you should be able to outline what you want to do, let's say in the short term, in the long term, and in the middle term and in the long term. Also, it is always good that you include any videos, blogs, and publications, the links to those things if you have, because it makes your application stronger. So I always encourage people that when you are involved in the program or a project, even if it is a volunteering opportunity, after that initiative, you should try and write a blog. Now, because of Medium, it is very easy for you to write your own, to get your own blog and just write. So let's say you were involved in a volunteer program about COVID awareness, put it out there, document, make sure you take short videos, you put it out there, you put it on YouTube, you put it on other video channels. Then when you are writing some of these applications, you can just go and copy the links and share them within the application. So if I am reviewing, or Musa is reviewing your application, and you have shared a link to a video or a blog, I will click on it and read. That is credibility. It makes the work easier, especially when I'm not fully convinced. Maybe you were not able to articulate your work well, but the link of the video or the blog has given me okay, it's clear now. So it's very important. You have to demonstrate, lastly, you have to demonstrate how you meet the course of study objectives and how you can strike a balance between academic and social life. Yes, here you have to show to the scholarship reviewer that you are academically inclined, and also you are able to balance both the academic, like the schoolwork, and other social life, such as networking, attending conferences, and all that. So in this case, you can even use a past experience, let's say when you were doing your bachelor's degree and all that. So there is this approach of writing, which they call it the ABC writing approach. So the ABC writing approach, the A is you answer the question, and then the B is you back with evidence, impact, and figures, and then the C is you connect and conclude. So the A, when you are writing for a scholarship application, the if you are using the ABC writing approach, you take the question, you first of all you aim to answer the question. So one sentence long that answers that question. You include details from the question. As I said, when you break the questions down, you can include the details in that question. You expand it. Then you include evidence, any evidence that you have from what you are writing about. That is the A. You have addressed the A. Then with the B, you back with evidence, impact, and figures. So you include key evidence to support your answers. So key evidence in your country, at the national level, at the local level, at the global level. You include all of them. You explain at least three key evidence. Yes, at least three key evidence that you have. It can be your own evidence, what you have done. Then you use transitional phrases. I hope you know transitional phrases. First of all, secondly, moreover, additionally, those transitional phrases, it makes your work very coherent and clear. And then the last part is you conclude, you connect and conclude. So here you conclude whatever you've written by connecting them. So now, what are some of these global opportunities? So these are some examples of scholarships and other opportunities that are not necessarily academic, but then they are also programs that you attend, and it helps you to enrich your skills and broaden your horizon and take you to the next level as you want. So we have the Chevening scholarships. So the Chevening scholarship is a UK government global scholarship for leaders and young people from 165 countries to go to the UK to study every year. So it is more leadership oriented, networking, and it's one of the most prestigious scholarships in the world. Then we have the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, which is also a UK government scholarship funded by the UK Commonwealth office. What they do is that they partner with the UK universities, and then they share and split the cost between them. of the scholarship. So this scholarship is usually tied to universities and courses. For instance, they have some universities that they are partners. So the Commonwealth Secretariat share, for instance, Bristol University, where I attended, in my faculty, they have the course I studied, Masters in Education Policy and International Development. Every year they have 2 slots for that program. So it is there. So with this scholarship, you go and look at when you go to their website, you will see the schools and the courses that in that particular year they are concentrating on. So it helps you to know, you don't just apply, but then you see the school and then you see what course that they have partnership with in that school. So that is the Commonwealth shared. So it is shared among the Commonwealth and the universities. Then we have the Commonwealth scholarships as a whole. So the Commonwealth scholarship is different from the Commonwealth shared. The Commonwealth scholarship is from both masters and PhD. What the difference between the Commonwealth shared and the Commonwealth scholarship is that the Commonwealth scholarships is done through a nominating agency. So a nominating agency like the Ministry of Education in your country can nominate you. Some universities too nominate, like if you are a lecturer, like a junior lecturer, and you want to pursue a PhD, for instance, in the UK, your university can nominate you. And also there are some agencies. So with this one, you don't just apply, but you have to be nominated first. That's the difference. But for Commonwealth Shared, it's open to everyone without nomination. The MCW Access Program is also a US-based social entrepreneurship program that brings young people from developing countries to go to the US to learn about leadership and social entrepreneurship. Then the One Young World. The One Young World is one of the world's leading global leaders program. So it is not a school scholarship, but they give some scholarships for people to attend the One Young World Summit, which is held every year. The first summit was held in 2008 in the UK, because the funders are from the UK. And last year, it was also held in the UK, in London. So they have multiple organizations that partner with them and give scholarship to young leaders or people who want to meet and connect and become One Young World ambassadors. Then you have the TheirWorld Global Youth Ambassador Program, which I'm part. Musa Ambassador is also part. This is for those interested in education and want to connect, build alliances and coalitions with other youth leaders from around the world to champion global education advocacy. Then we have the Fulbright Scholarships, which is a US-based scholarship program for people to study masters and PhDs. They also have Fulbright, other professional development programs for teachers and other young professionals to go to the US. So Fulbright is more like the chevening of US, and it's highly prestigious as well. You can get more information about Fulbright in your country US embassy website. They have all those, and because the dates of it opening is different in all countries. They have different openings, let's say for Ghana, Nigeria, and other Kenya and other countries. So it's good for you to check from your local embassy. Then you have the Mandela Washington Fellowship and the yearly RLC program, which is very popular. The Mandela Washington Fellowship takes leaders from Africa to the US every summer to build their leadership skills in entrepreneurship and business, civil society leadership, and public policy management. And the yearly RSC program is basically the same as Mandela Washington Fellowship, but the yearly RSC is in 4 different countries regions. So we have the West African one, we have the East African one, and then we have the Southern African one. Yes, it's in 3. So what happens is that it's the same training, like similar training, which is the same program under the umbrella of YALI, which has the same tracks. And in this case, the leaders meet in Africa instead of going to the US. Then we have the G20 Young Global Changers. I was part of this program in 2019. It was hosted in Berlin, Germany. It's usually hosted in Berlin. So this also bring young people from about 160 countries to Germany during the Global Solutions Summit to become G20 Global Young Leaders to talk about issues about multilateralism, issues about international development, leadership. Yeah. And then the Youth Action Lab, which is by CIVICUS Alliance. I was involved in the development of this program as a consultant. So this also bring young activists from developing countries like the Global South specifically into a 1-year co-creation lab that supports these activists by resourcing them, providing funding, providing mentorship, and other opportunities for them. So it is a hybrid program. They have most of their work online and some other physical convening. So this is the end of my presentation. And from here, I am open to questions based on what Ambassador Musa is going to talk about after. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate you've done well. So, I want us to see you before that.
Please, can you hear? Can you see me?
Yeah,
now?
I can see you. I can see you.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much for the wonderful lecture. We really appreciate, and I'm sure majority of us who are watching have actually jot down one or two things, very important information. As you can see, one of the Facebook users saying, so educative, thanks for the information. We really appreciate. So this is a question and answer segment where people need to ask questions. So for those who are with us, you can ask your question right now before Mr. Kenneth will leave. So any question that is coming up, I'll be displaying it on the screen. Then Kenneth, you can be able to read and answer the question. I hope I'm clear.
Okay. Yes, please.
Okay, while we are waiting, we are still waiting. You know, StreamYard. Okay, we have a question now. I will display the question from. Can you see it?
Okay. Yeah. So chevening is for only master's degree. They don't provide funding for PhDs. But Commonwealth scholarship provide funding for PhDs. Not the shared one, but the Commonwealth scholarship. And also the chevening opens next month and it runs from August till November. For you to apply for Chevening, for instance, you need to have 3 UK universities and 3 courses, which can be similar courses from all these 3. You put in this during your application. So you apply for the scholarship and just list the universities in the application portal, the universities and the courses. You choose them based on order, like your first choice, your second choice, and your third choice. So you have to prepare if you are interested. Okay, the question says, please, is there no scholarship for masters? There are scholarship for masters in Europe. We have the DAAD scholarship for um, people who want to study for masters in Germany, for instance. So it's funded by the German government. It gives several scholarship for several fields. So in education, in engineering, in health. So you can check that out. And also we have the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. It's one of the most prestigious scholarships, and it's also very popular for a study in Europe. One thing I like about Erasmus is that you have the opportunity to study in 3 European universities on one scholarship. So when you are applying, let's say you want to study for education policy, you could have a semester in University of Barcelona. You could have another semester in, let's say, University of Oxford. You could have another semester in the University of, let's say, Paris. So like it gives you that multiple experience. You have the opportunity to study in like 3 different countries, and they are also flexible when it comes to return to your country. Like those who want to, maybe you find job or you find a PhD there, you can continue. So Erasmus Mundus. Yeah, so the Commonwealth Share Scholarship, it used to be open in it used to open in February, but last year there was a change. It was also opened in August. So you should be checking their websites frequently. Commonwealth Shared Scholarships. Um they they changed the opening date last year. So I don't know whether it is going to remain same. Erasmus is, I think from August, most of these global scholarships are open. So you should be checking and then having a diary, documenting them, what you want to apply for, the opening date and the closing date. It helps so that you can plan ahead, because you don't have to wait till deadline is approaching before you put in the application. If you do it that way, you may not get quality work, or you may not even get somebody to review it for you. So when you start in time, you're able to get somebody to review for you so that you prepare. I always believe in taking time to write your scholarship applications. And also, some people have questions about the English language testing, and what is for scholarships like Commonwealth Shared, they don't require that English language testing if you are from a major English-speaking country. So, for instance, if you are from Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, most of these English-speaking countries, when you're applying for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, you don't need English language. But for Chevening, you will need it for the scholarships. Okay, there's a question. Are those scholarships specific on education open for all, or there are some specific people that can apply? So all these scholarships are usually open for all sectors. Chevening, for instance, I know people who are working in fashion and they are in. I know people who were working in veterinary, like all range of fields. So all these scholarships are open. They are very open. Yeah, they are not limited to only education program. They are for all the other key sectors and development areas. Okay, so there's no age limit. One thing about these scholarships, which I like about, is that there are no age limits. Unlike fellowships and those other programs that have age limit for the scholarships, since it's more about academic and they even expect people to have gathered some form of experience before. For Chevening, you can even be 50 years, you can apply. And I know with all the other scholarships, Commonwealth, Commonwealth Shared, Fulbright, Erasmus, they don't have age limits, which makes it very great. Yeah, so you can apply no matter your age. You just have to have a bachelor's degree. Yeah. Yeah, what is the CGPA range to apply for Chevening scholarship? So Chevening also, as I said, is more about your potential for being a leader, a global leader, and your clear career plans and all those. So they don't really look at CGPA. What happens is that you should be able to get admission. So let's say you are applying for the university. Let's say you have a CGPA that is second class lower. I know someone who was second class lower and got the scholarship. The scholarship application is different from the university application. So the scholarship application, they don't ask anything about your CGPA. They ask about your degree and the university. Then you upload your university certificate. But what happens is that with the CGPA, you may be at a disadvantage. Let's say your CGPA is very low and you applied to study for, as I say, you select 3 UK universities, and then maybe the universities think your CGPA is so low, so you can't study there. You can even get the scholarship, but when you don't get an admission, you can't go. But what I know is that in the UK, once you have 2-2, so 2-2 is second class lower divisions. If you are familiar with Ghana system, you are able to get admission. So second class lower, second class upper, and first class you can get in. Okay, somebody says, can you give us a hint or guideline on how to make our application special and unique so that when we apply, we can be among? Yes. So what I would say is that the eligibility is clear. For Chevening, for instance, you should have at least 2 years of work experience. Volunteer work experience is all accepted. You should have your bachelor's and all that. So what makes you stand out is how you approach the questions. So, for instance, the question about leadership, you should be able to articulate what you have done specifically. Some people just throw in a lot of things. It is always good for you to focus on one key leadership experience you've had. Maybe you have started an initiative in your community and it's making this impact. Talk about it using STAR approach, for instance, the situation, the task, the action, the results, the impact it's made. Using storytelling, give concrete examples about how you went about with that leadership role. It can also be in your workplace. What change have you brought in? So you need to be very specific. You need to back your claims with evidence, which is where the links is very important. Also statistics. You need to show authority over the field that you are talking about. If it is education, what is UNESCO saying? If it is about health, what is the Ministry of Health in Nigeria saying? What is the World Health Organization saying? What has been the impact of that? So for you to stand out, you need to be able to address the questions very well. You breaking the questions down, being specific, giving specific examples of how you qualify for that opportunity. So I believe it is the writing and also getting somebody who has been there before to review it for you also works so well. I hope I answered it well.
Yeah, thank you. I think people are still asking questions. So we have just 4 minutes to go. So if anyone has a question, they should ask now so that we can release our boss. Your
You are the biggest boss. Oh, thank you. Good to know.
Okay, we have just seconds to go. So on this note, I would like to appreciate you, Charlie, Mr. Kenneth Gyamerah. You've actually dropped points here, and I'm sure a lot of people have actually picked from it. We really appreciate Medase. I hope I pronounced it very well.
Medasi.
Leave the intonation. At least I tried.
Yeah, I'll give you like 70%. So it's an A.
70. I don't pass now.
Yeah, we pass.
So we really appreciate. Thank you for your time. We know you're a very busy man. So we'll be looking forward to engage you at the other end, because I'm very sure a lot of people will still reach out trying to reach you for guidance on how to go about the application.
Okay, Ambassador. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So on this note, I will call it a day. Thank you for all those who joined us. Thank you for all those who have been dropping their comments, appreciating. So we really appreciate. So we see you in the next session. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.